Today is Thinking Thursday, and I'd like to come in here and give you something to think about. And I want to start off with a word called paradigms. Paradigms is a multitude of habits that is stored in a section of your subconscious mind. Now, paradigms are in charge of your habitual behavior, and most of your behavior is habitual. So I want you to think today, am I choosing to do what I'm doing, or is it just a habit? Am I choosing to think this way, or is it programmed into me? Is it my paradigm? Am I choosing to eat what I eat today because it's my decision, or is it just a habit? Because 96% of your day is run by your habitual behavior. And if we don't change your habitual behavior, if you don't change your habitual behavior, nothing in your life will change. It's really simple. So what we have to do is take one thing out and replace it with one thing. Never try and delete one. If you just try and remove something from your life, you create a void. When you create a void, that will always be filled. There is no such thing as empty space in the universe, in your life, in your body, anything. If you take something out, something has to take its place. And if you do not consciously replace that void with what you want, something of the same vibrational nature will take its place. So if you decide, okay, I'm going to stop drinking, maybe you'll replace that with a calorie-filled soft drink, or you will start eating something instead. You know, when I stopped smoking, I started drinking my drinks more through a straw. I drank spirits back in those days. So I would drink things through a straw just for that same sort of thing. And guess what? You drink a whole lot faster when you drink with a straw. Didn't really help for me at all. Then the next time I tried to give up smoking, I then started eating more. So I didn't consciously replace things. And then I spoke to my mother-in-law one day and I said, how did you give up smoking, Di? And she said, I had a drink of water each time that I wanted to have a cigarette. And I thought, well, isn't that just a great idea? So I took that on the last time that I gave up smoking. That was the last time, that was 16 years ago. And it was such a great thing to do. So, but it was a conscious decision. Every time I felt like a cigarette, I would go and have a drink of water instead, or a cup of tea, or something like that. Back in those days, it was cups of tea with milk and sugar, so maybe that wasn't the best thing either. But there was a conscious decision there. So I want you to spend your day today and some time just thinking about the things that you're doing and becoming conscious of what you're actually doing and asking yourself, am I doing this because it's getting me closer to my goal and it's helping me live the way I want to live? Or is it a habit? And if I was to stop doing it, what would come in its place? What would I consciously put in its place? Now, I don't know about you, but there is a few people in my Wild Fit coaching at the moment that have a little sugar habit after dinner, because we were taught that if you ate all your dinner and you've been a good girl today or a good boy today, then you could have ice cream or something after dinner for dessert. There are other people in my Wild Fit coaching that, of course, went to school. And what are we taught in school? That we have breakfast before we go to school, and then around 10 o'clock we have morning tea or recess. Then we have lunch and we have to eat at lunchtime. And then when we get home from school, we're absolutely starving. And sometimes some people had a mum that cooked up cookies and milk and stuff, and they got home and had that. And so that created us to have this 3 p.m. sugary treat. And then we'd have dinner, and then if you were in some places that had dessert, you would have dessert, or maybe it's only a weekend thing, or blah, 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 the things that we've created. And they carry that on throughout life because we don't become conscious of, am I actually hungry? But it's 10 o'clock, it's smoko time, we have to eat now because we cannot eat any other time. So I want you just to play around with that today. And then think about things that you do in your daily life. Not concerned with food, but just for you. How do you start your day? Do you start your day with a mumble and a grumble and snoozing that alarm 5 times? Or do you get straight out of bed and straight into it? Do you allow yourself time to actually wake up and prepare yourself for the day? Or do you get out of bed, get dressed, and then straight out the door and like you're just walking from sleep to work, pretty much? What do you do? What's your habit there? And if you were kicking goals, if you were doing the things that were creating the life that you want to, the way you want to live it, would you keep those up or would they be different? And can you identify any that maybe you could start today? So if you're not hungry at 12 o'clock, do you need to eat? Can you change some of the things that you eat so that maybe you don't have that 3 p.m. slump? Can you get out of bed a little bit earlier and prepare your mind and your whole body for the day ahead and put things in order? Can you, now this is a big one, can you respond differently to the things that raise your heart rate? So if you have any moments throughout the day where you know like, oh my God, I'm feeling a bit this or a bit of anxiety, a bit of overwhelm, anger, frustration, they all sort of get your heart rate up a bit. So does excitement, okay? So like they both do the same thing. But you'll have habitual responses or reactions to these moments. Can you take a pause? Count to 3, 3 minutes, 3 hours, 3 days, or whatever works for you. Can you take a pause and take a deep breath and ask yourself, can I do this differently? And what would that different look like? So there's a bit for you for Thinking Thursday. Please comment and tell us how it's going for you, or how maybe do this. Tell me something that you would love to have a different habit about, and then tell us what you're going to do about it. So each time I go for a cigarette, I go for a glass of water. Each time I go for a, I don't know, cream-filled donut, I have a drink of water instead. Each time I go to lose my cool, I take a deep breath, excuse myself and maybe go to the restroom or something and pull yourself together and then take the emotion out of it and come back. What can you do? Think about it. All right.